And welcome once again. It is that time for the Empower Man podcast. It's your boy Mikey G coming to you live from the free state of Florida, where it is 90 degrees outside, and I got a jacket. Not just any jacket, a jacket for all those out there that know, you know. Speaking of knowing, I know a guy on the other side of that camera right there that agrees with me, believing that Pete Rose should have been reinstated a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't know his thoughts on the Menendez brothers, but we're going to get that shortly. The man who packs heat and is a treat to this world. He's my boy. He's your boy. He's a connoisseur of American history, but more importantly, he's a parent, the patriot, the proud papa of two little girls. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and the only, Greg A. Tedora, number one. Sir, happy hump day.
Happy hump day and great intro as always. Appreciate it. And I do like that zip up very much. I like it. I like it.
Diet ginger ale, my friend.
That's my mom. She's a Schweppes lady, though. She's Schweppes all the way.
Well, when you come down here next month, Carol, we're going to have Diet ginger ale on the boat. Promise.
That's it. Yeah, man.
What a week it's been so far. It's only Wednesday as we're filming this on a Wednesday during the middle of the week. For the week of May 11th, 12th, right? Today's the 14th, I believe.
Yep.
So week of May 11th. I mean, first, Pete Rose getting reinstated as big. When you look at the socio, aspect of everything, I just heard the Menendez brothers got resentenced, but I think they're going to be doing I think they're going to get off on parole, I believe. I just saw that. I saw Mark Garagos, and I had this conversation, who your favorite celebrity attorney is. I personally love Johnny Cochran. That guy was so good at what he did. And it's a shame that he's still not around to this day. But Johnny Cochran definitely loved him. And this guy, Mark Garagos, he got like Michael Jackson off. I think he got the Menendez brothers on parole. I mean, to be a defense attorney, it's especially when you know the facts are a little not in your favor. To be that smooth, man, I mean, these guys are, and girls, because I believe Gloria Allred, I believe she's a defense attorney.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the lawyers out there, man. I mean, you guys charge a pretty penny. And I think, Greggy T's got some experience in that area. He's definitely put a few kids through college. But
you're welcome.
You are welcome, Greggy T.
Yeah. Lawyers are like therapists. Like there's maybe 1 or 2% that are good. The rest are just shit. That's my opinion.
They could be like psychics too.
Yeah. And mediums.
They can read your palm and tell you.
Yes. Abracadabra. You're healed.
I'm sensing you're going through something. Pay me $500 an hour and I will tell you your future.
You need definitely 10 more sessions at that price and you are cured.
Yeah.
Until I implant another issue in your brain.
Game of blouses.
Yes. Anyway.
Yes. And how about our boy over in Saudi Arabia, huh? I don't know. Truth be told, I stopped watching the news a month ago because it was really capitulating. You like that one? Capitulating.
He's back.
Big term.
The brain is back.
Capitulating emotions inside of me that really become contraindicative or contraindicative of what I want to be. So in my house, ESPN, the Golf Channel, and horse racing.
Okay. I like that.
Yep. And I get little snippets here and there. My mother will tell me, I can see the president today. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I haven't watched the news, so
I can't do it. So, but I was over in Saudi Arabia. I heard they gave him a plane, and I heard he just got another $600 billion. And But anybody out there, Greg, you're a business guy. You're an entrepreneur. Like when you take over a company that's been losing money You got to strip it down to its skeleton and rebuild it. You know, I mean, let's face it, this country was a disaster and has been a disaster. And God forbid we'd have taken a different course. We'd be paying probably $20,000 for a loaf of bread. Okay, that's a gross exaggeration. But to all you historians out there, after World War I, what happened? Hypoinflation took over in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Food was scarce. Not that it would be scarce here, but I think our food sources would be owned by foreign municipalities. Craig, your thoughts?
To a degree, yeah. All the noise that's out there now, I'm just glad they're looking into what's going into our food, because it's really bad, man. The packaged food, you know, people wonder why they can't lose weight, or they're bloated or this or that. And even the organic, everything's organic now. You can just buy that label and call yourself organic for the most part. But I just think getting healthier is a big deal. So anything to do with changing that up, I'm for. And like I heard today, I think they might be looking into the baby formula, because our baby formula isn't even sold, I don't think, anywhere else on the planet. And I think they're looking into now what's going into it and trying to stop it, which I'm for that too. So
Well, I think
I just don't understand why we can't. Where did it go wrong? I understand, like in the history timeline of the United States, like the Industrial Revolution and all that. Yeah. The need for profit, and it just overtook a lot of people, and they're adding things in and that aren't necessary, but are like dirt cheap. Back in the day, some Parmesan cheese was wood shavings. They studied it. Like, you really have to do that? You can't just put real cheese in there? Oh, but it's so expensive. Okay, so you only make 50 million this year. You don't make 60. Like, really? But you're endangering the health. A lot of these people don't even feed their kids their own product or their own brand, which I think is ironic. And this I understand to a degree. I'm not going to name the company, but I was a big fan of their coffee creamer for a long time. They were very green and healthy, and they started with the great mission and all of that. And they got really big, which I'm happy for them on a business standpoint. Make your money. Everyone knows I'm all for that. But I'm on a subscription with them, and I started reading their packaging, and now it may contain lead and other things. And I'm like, from the most organic, real ingredients to now it may contain lead, arsenic, and some other things. So I did a tiny bit of digging, not much. And they moved their whole plant. I think their plant was in Oregon. Now they're in like Colorado or something at a big packaging factory. There you go. And because of all the machinery and the metals and all that, here comes all the potential toxins of metal and lead and all of that into their products. So now I've been with them for 5 years now. I'm done. And that's sad to me, because I take pride in like supporting smaller companies that are on a good mission with good ingredients. And I'm torn because I understand why they did what they did. I don't like the end product now, because now they're with a big co-packaging company and they have big investors, and I understand the game, but you know, they sold out, they made their money, which I'm not saying I wouldn't do the same thing. So I can't hate on them that way, but it's disappointing as the consumer.
Yeah, and if they're doing that to our humans, what are they doing to our animals? And that scares me a little bit as well, because my little princess turns 5 tomorrow, and we're flying to New York. And you know, she gets her can of tuna fish. She'll get that probably when I land tomorrow night in New York. We'll do a little celebrating birthday for her. But my little princess is 5, and so and it's like, you know, I could not imagine my life without my pet. Now, obviously, you know, things happen. Everyone's gonna go sometime. But if there's something that I am not doing, like with your girls, like you're giving your girls baby formula, possibly that could have been problematic, depending on, you know, what's
Like,
in it. Right?
you brought up that point. Very grateful and very lucky breast milk was available and flowing nicely from their mother No issues there. A lot of women, especially in the Northeast, everyone says I shit on the Northeast. I get a lot of comments on that. I don't really care. I'm from here. I can say what I want. A lot of the women around here rather do formula when they actually can give breast milk because they just don't want to mess up their boobs or whatever. And it becomes a whole vanity thing in them. And there's nothing better for a baby than mother's breast milk. Nothing. There's so many things in it, colostrum, everything else that are just so essential. And some just, no, I don't want my boobs to sag or look bad. Or meanwhile, they end up getting a boob job anyway, which is worthless and it doesn't matter anyway. Because you got to look at the rest of them. And it's just, why would you do that? It shouldn't be about you anymore. But that's a whole other conversation that I will not have today because it's going to get me pissed off. Because why wouldn't you give your kid natural breast milk? Anyway.
For those viewers that would like to see Greg pissed off, we will send out a private link after hours where we can just give Greg some softballs and he'll knock them right out of the park. And believe me, folks, if you've never heard the Greg Tedora unfiltered perspectives on things and situations, you are missing out on something really, really special.
No, you're not.
But for a small donation, we can get him a little fired up.
Yeah, you can set up whatever the girls do, Venmo or whatever. Who knows?
Linktree,
yeah. Shake your Linktree.
Well, I mean, you got the tree in the garden, right? If I need a couple grand, just...
It's raining up here and it's spring, so it's really sprouting some roots now.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Well, you were planting seeds, and we're talking about, we plant seeds there in the spring. We were talking earlier about, certain variables that maybe we'll dive into. You talked about being able to see signs.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about like stop signs, like red light, yellow light, green light.
Aliens. Yeah.
Aliens. We're talking about like signs. Greg, go into this a little bit more in detail in your thought process about seeing signs and what brought you to this kind of like epiphany or this type of realization that maybe I'm starting to see signs in the universe or understand signs a little bit differently or picking up on signs being sent to you.
Okay. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to our military personnel like we always do. Stay safe out there. And it's Military Appreciation Month. And next week down in Decatur, Texas is the Danny Dietz Navy SEAL Foundation, 20 years Operation Redwings. Get your tickets. I think there's 60 left. So it goes to a good cause and goes all the Gold Star families. So we thank each and every one of you for your service, and you're not forgotten.
And I'm going to sneak this in real quick, as I always do, and I forgot because I'm getting a little bit older. Shout out to our firemen and women, our policemen and women, our first responders, our EMTs. Thank you for all you do, keeping our local city, states, and municipalities safe and sound. Greg, back up.
So seeing or reading or acknowledging that there are signs out there in the universe trying to tell you something. The first time I ever saw it and I let it actually get to me in a good way, where I actually read it and I was paying attention to it, was when I was graduating college down in Boca. We had a couple, when you go to a gym, like you're in a group, like, everybody at the time slot that you go and everyone's friends, guys, girls, whatever. There's an older guy who was a model. He was like a surfer dude, but he was like a model. And he was always like, you should model, whatever, man. And I asked around about him and he was in a lot of publications, made a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. So I heard that and, whatever. We would go out and friends of mine and, people would say something like, oh, are you a model? Or, oh, you should this. And I'm not, let me preface this. I'm not talking about being conceited or anything. I'm just trying to, put context to what Mike was saying about seeing signs. More and more people, guys, girls, young, old, everything. It was like getting obnoxious, almost a daily thing. Like, why don't you model? You should model, all this stuff. I actually spoke to my parents about it. I called them up and I'm like, because they were still up here. And I'm like, I keep getting all these signs or these messages. Everyone thinks I should do that. Like I was getting in really good shape. I was super lean from coming off the swimming or whatever. And they're like, well, maybe you should look into it. You know, they're always open like that. And I was like, yeah, maybe I should. And so, long story short, I looked into it. Back in the day, it was like a little black book. It was called. It had all the agencies, all of them, from modeling to acting in New York City, and it had all of their open call dates during the week and times. You were allowed to walk in off the street Wednesday from 10 to 11, using that as an example. And so I'm like, hey, I'm going to take a trip up to the city. I'm going to spend a week, 5 days, and I'm going to hit them all. And that's my one-time shot. By the end of the week, I signed with 2 agencies. It was awesome. So that was my first, inkling of seeing signs and actually interpreting them and taking them in and allowing me to process it. As I've gotten older now, I'm starting to, you have said it to me, a couple of our other close friends have said it. My situation, which we'll talk about another episode, where everyone knows I'm divorced. Not everyone, but my closest people know. And I have two little girls. And it's hard wrapping your brain around that in itself, coming from such a strong family growing up. I had the best examples of a marriage that I could think of in my mom and dad. So this was all foreign to me and just weird. And like, how could this happen? Why did this happen? All the questions. And then, you had said it like, well, your girls need a father. And they need you. Something is going on in the universe where, you might be struggling, where you left one job, but now you can't find another. And you're dealing with that stress. And you're like, but why is this happening? All this stuff. And then you had said it. My mom has said it. A couple other friends have said it. Like, listen, you need to be there for your girls right now. Yeah. I heard you. And I would let it roll off. Yeah. But then I started thinking about it and it makes sense. And then I watch certain podcasts and they talk about religion and other things besides that. And everyone knows how I feel about it. I'm not like diving all in, but listening to signs and, everything's meant to be, which I do believe, and things happen for a reason. And then I'm summarizing the shit out of this. And now I've listened to all the signs and I truly feel all of this past year, because it was a mess for me, happened for a reason. And it was all good because my girls are solid. They're good with me. And I'm very beyond grateful that I am there for them anytime at a drop of a hat, no matter what. So it was nice and I felt it one day, just the body let go of the stress of the, why not this? Why not that? No, this is. Don't worry about the why nots. And it could be this, or I need that. I don't need that right now. I need this. And I need to be here for this right now. No matter what that looks like. You might not agree with it or be in the moment of it. It took me months to let it absorb and just finally give in and realize I agree 100%. I'm beyond grateful for the tough year I had because I was there for my girls who needed me. So letting the signs in, don't discredit or discount them. If you're starting to see things, hear things, maybe take note of it and look into it a little bit and be open-minded with it. And this is coming from the most closed-minded Westchester guy from back in the day. And I am not like that anymore, thank God. Because I got out of there, which I think most people from there should, to experience the world. But thank God I was able to get out of there and see other things and other points of view and all of that.
And for those of you out there that don't know what Greg is referencing in regards to being a Westchester guy, we will send you a separate link and we'll give Greg some more softballs. We'll get him teed up and he will definitely go into more detail. But I think that's awesome. That's a great perspective.
Listen, speaking of that, shout out to our boy Lawrence, who I had dinner with last weekend. And we went to Johnny's Pizza in Mount Vernon. Awesome. Been there forever. It's like a staple. And I sat down and I'm just looking around and he's like, what are you looking at? And I'm like, I am so grateful that I don't live here anymore. And I'm not hating because I'm from there. I'm just so grateful to be out of there. It's literally stepping back in a time machine. And not hating, just Not for me. Not for me.
Well, what's even better is I'm grateful I live in this area because it's like Westchester all down here, and they're like in their 50s and 60s, and they're still
Yeah.
rocking it out. And
Oh, yeah.
honestly, more power to them because they look good. The girls look great. The women look great. The guys are in good shape. Yo, it's like,
They
Friday
look better
night,
than the younger generation. I'll give them that.
dude. Amen to that. Friday night over at Abe and Louis in Boca. Shout out to Abe and Louis. Like, dude, it's game on, man. They're like, it's like being trapped in the 80s. I think it's great because I love the 80s. So
Yeah,
you're
agreed.
gonna get complaints out of me.
Agreed.
But I want to also take your thought process to a level where, the Bible talks about, in Jesus' brother James talks about, if troubles come your way, rejoice in it. Because when you go through these trials, and of course I'm paraphrasing, it's an opportunity for great joy because your faith gets tested. And the more your endurance builds in your faith going through these trials and tribulations, that stuff grows. And when you grow your faith and your trust in the universe, you become perfect and complete, needing nothing. We talked about this before we started filming about how we value money.
Yeah.
When we were younger, it was all about money and making money and having this.
The show.
Now,
the
optics, right? And I actually have a friend of mine. I just made this new friend, and we were talking, her and I. She's a history teacher. She's awesome. We were talking about war. It's so nice to have a dialogue with someone that's more than just superficial stuff, which is awesome. And we were talking about, now I lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me. But I'll get back to that in a second. But it's more about we get so trapped in social media. That's what we talked about. How social media, and we talked about this in our last episode, about how it ruins the optics of what a man's supposed to be. A man's supposed to have a Mercedes. A man's supposed to have a boat. A man's supposed to have all these things because that's what validates men. It's like knowing that I have all these possessions, women will like me.
It validates men to the women on social media. It's not even validating to the men. You got these people putting it out there that's not even accurate.
Exactly. And full disclosure, I have a Mercedes, but I have it for me. I do.
It's your second one.
Second one, right? But I worked my rear end off for it.
Yes.
And
you've always wanted one.
I've always wanted one. And
you also have a boat. You've always wanted that too. You're living a lie, Mike. You're living a lie.
But I rent an apartment. So my net worth is 0.
But you look good.
But I look good. Because everything is the least with an option to buy.
Correct.
Even my relationships.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome.
But, it's the optics of, hey, the more I have this, does a Mercedes? Yeah. Of course, Mercedes validates. Because it makes me feel like, okay, I've accomplished something because I've been able to buy a nice thing. Does it define me? No. If I made like 30 grand a year and I was smart with my money, you can make a Mercedes work. How do you make a Mercedes worth 30 grand? Well, I live a very minimalist lifestyle. I have no credit card debt. I know this, I know that, but I think I'm guilty of this.
No Abe and Louis.
No Abe and Louis. The Golden Corral. Abe and Louis Golden Corral. But, I think I'm guilty of it. And I think, you probably maybe when you were younger, where it's like, let me go buy this on credit, do this on credit. Now, if I use credit, it's because I need it for my business or because we just went through a tough time economically. I needed to survive. Not that I want to go buy, this variable. Anyway, point being, you believe that things will always work out. And that's some type of intertwined faith where it's not faith in your eyes, but you believe in something. Something's telling you, Greg, this sign right here that you're looking at, things are going to work out. And you know what? You went through the roughest year of your life since I've known you, probably outside of, your father passed. And here you are. And you've come out of it stronger. You've learned a lot. And now you are just on a trajectory that you've already been down here, and now your trajectory is just,
hopefully,
with your business ventures, your family, your friendships, everything. Because now it's like my priorities are my girls, my time.
Yeah.
I don't need this, I need
Time.
that. I just want what's best for my girls.
I don't even want no more. I used to have a big house. Last thing I want now. I'd rather have 2 smaller houses. A little place in Florida for me and the girls, and a little place up here. Nothing big. And I'm in the worst area for that because that's all people care about. But it's true. I think most people, guys and girls, do things just to say they did it or talk about it or show it off. Meanwhile, half them can't even use it properly. Like I go to the gun range the other day. It's a great place to people watch. And I know the owner, he's cool, and we just laugh at people because you have these like dorks in there that have all the money in the world, and you can tell like all the cars are in a lot, and they have all these guns that are thousands of dollars. Like this guy whipped out an AR, it had to have been like $8,000. A big boy. Like I have a good one. It's all decked out, but like I also know how to use it. These people can't even load it properly, and it's just to say, "Oh, I have this." Okay, can you pick it up and use it? Do you know how to fire it? Do you know how to load it? Do you know how to clean it? How about this? Do you know how to hold it properly? I'm just saying. So it's more things just for the show. And I was always from college. We were talking about this. Caught up in, I don't know if you ever thought like this, but someone's like, "Oh, what do you do?"
Of course.
"Oh, I'm a trainer," or "Oh, I teach swimming," or something like that. And oh, people are gonna look down on that. They're gonna know I don't have a lot of money, or like they look at that as like, "Oh, I'm not in finance," or one of those dorks or whatever. But like they can't make it that much money. That was always playing in my head. Look down upon, look down upon, look down upon. Like this goes into the dating world. If you, guy or girl, if you're dating somebody and they don't pick you up and support you no matter what, I don't care if you pick up dog shit for a living. There's people that probably make a killing doing that. I used to know somebody that walked dogs in Manhattan, made $100,000 a year cash. What do you do?
Cash.
I'm a dog walker. Like, oh, and people like shoo them away like they're nobodies. Make more than you.
Cash.
But it's all about the label and the looks. And now you're in your own head like, oh, it's yeah, I teach swimming or something like that's not good. Or oh, what are they going to think of me? It's like the devil creeping in with that thought process. And then if you start dating somebody and they're not proud of you, not what you do, like you said, it doesn't define me. That doesn't define me.
Right.
Am I a good person? Am I good to you? Do I protect? Do I do all these things? That should be important. But nowadays and all over social media, a guy needs to make $500K to date me. Oh, okay. And oh, he needs to spend like, I forgot, like 5 months salary on a rent. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. And it's just, but I was caught up in all that too, because that's what's out there. And oh, if somebody asks them what I do and they say I do this, are they going to be proud? Are they going to be turned off? Are they going to be embarrassed to say it? All these things play in the head.
Of course.
And I'm just saying, I know who's listening. I fucking know. Sorry, Mom. I know you think like this. Not my mom. I'm sorry I cursed. I know people listening think like this. Not all of them, but I would say 95%. And I think they struggle with that. And the minute you let that shit go, you will feel 80 pounds lighter. I'm in that space now, and I could care less. I can make 50 grand a year work. I can make 100 grand a year work for me and my girls and get everything I want. And anything more than that's gravy. Like you said, my liquor's coming out in about a month. Hopefully we're on the 5-year plan. We sell and we're good. I'm done. I'm also working on another business venture that ties into this because I always thought full circle my life would come back to the pool. This certain thing is incorporating the pool and swimming and teaching people and helping people in the water, which I always liked doing. I used to teach adult education. When I worked at Equinox, I don't think you remember, 2 nights a week I taught swimming to adults.
Yep, I remember that.
I took it for granted because I was young. And I looked at it as a hassle when I was young. I would love to do that now. It was one of the most satisfying jobs I ever had. And I've always said that. I've always liked it. And I want to come full circle with that to a degree, which is what I want to do. And I'm working on it. Hopefully it works out. But I'm over you teach swimming, or, what are they like? Are people embarrassed to see you like teaching somebody in the pool? Please get over that. You will free your mind. It's like Morpheus in the Matrix. You'll free your mind. You'll jump across that building. Nobody cares. Why do you care what they think of you? Most of them are pieces of shit behind closed doors. Most people are pieces of shit in your face.
Right.
Stop caring what people think about your title, your job, what you do, all of these things. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. I know it sounds like crazy coming from people listening. You don't know us, or, everyone says that. I'm just telling you what I went through. And it is freeing to start thinking like that for yourself. Totally for yourself. And you know what? You don't know what doors it could open. Maybe you have a dream job, but the salary isn't where it's supposed to be at in your mind. I know I'll crush this job, but they only pay 80 grand a year. I can't do that. You don't know what it can open up. Maybe look at it from a different lens. I don't know. But it's freeing in a way when you finally give in to that. And maybe this just dawned on me because we spoke about this the other day, and I spoke about it with my mom. Tim Tebow was on Sean Ryan's show, and Tim Tebow's the man. Always thought of him as the man. He's legit. He's legit as they come. He's awesome. Great human being.
Yep.
And other people have spoken about like bending the knee to God, and I never understood that. Like that, I don't get. But maybe this is a form of that when you let go in your brain of caring about what other people think or your job title. Oh, he teaches swimming or whatever it is. The embarrassment of it. Maybe that's in a way bending the knee to whatever religion and being free in your head to do what you want to do, and good things will come, whether that be money, time, whatever the case may be that you're looking for. Because that's what I truly believe. It's going to open up 5 other doors. And I can come and go as I please. I own my own business. Like it's not working for anybody. And that's big with us because I don't really do too well working for people. So you've seen.
I've heard. I've heard stories.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's a version of bending the knee, giving into that thought process, or holding on to. Is somebody going to be embarrassed to tell their friends what I do? I know it weighs on people. I know it does. No one will say this. Nobody will say it. Yeah. And there's people our age that still think like that. The young kids still think like that. Like, oh, what do they do? What do they do? Who cares what they do? Are they happy? Are they a good person? Do they make you happy? Like I'm there. I am there.
Yeah. Because I thought that way. And you still get those creeps of doubt that creep
I thought that way recently.
Yeah.
I've just gotten there over the past year. I'm 47 years old.
Yeah.
I've thought like that my whole life. Oh, I can't do that. I'll be embarrassed to say what I do. Oh, she's going to be embarrassed to tell her friends what I do. It's the wrong way to look at things, man.
Isn't that crazy?
You're just putting yourself in jail mentally. And how are you going to like grow or prosper properly if you put your own self in a cage? Everyone does it. And it's rampant up here in the Northeast. I know it is down there too. Oh. But around here, it's like, it's disgusting. It's vile how these people associate like money and possessions with, oh, they're a good person or they're a good citizen. They're pieces of shit. Pieces of shit.
Or, he's a great guy. I think I'll just like have something casual with him, but I'm going to look for something more because there is, and I said this, we've talked about this, and I'm not picking on women. So if this is not probably
just leave that to me. Just kidding.
I think most women equate financial security with emotional security, because the trend that I've seen is when that becomes blurred, right? They settle for the money, but they're not happy in the situation. So either one of two things happens. Either the husband seeks greener pastures because they're in a loveless marriage, or the wife will do that because somehow it becomes um, a disadvantage because someone's not getting their needs met.
100%.
But you have a nice house in the Hamptons. You have a nice house in you have a place in Miami, right? So, and I think that's the most important thing. Even guys, what is security? Oh, that I have a woman who's really attractive, or I have someone that fears the Lord. Like in the Bible talks about a woman who fears the Lord to be revered. Like charm is deceptive, beauty is fleeting, but a good woman. We talked about a good woman many episodes ago, just from a guy's perspective. Like you got someone who like is God fearing and like you talked about is there for you that you can converse with. That and if they have the other things, wonderful. But you cannot put a value on that type of I'll call it that type of beauty because we're all beautiful in our own certain way. But we always talk about, beautiful on the inside. Some women, oh, he's a really great guy. But I mean, to really have that beauty shine through, when you can acknowledge that someone makes that person that much more attractive.
Yeah, I agree. I think when you said that emotional security with financial gets blurred, most women dip. They'll dip on their man, and it's a good man. And you'll just go for somebody with money. Meanwhile, they're doing 5 other people, which is fine. I'm not hating on that. But don't expect a certain outcome just because there's money involved. Well, and I also think to help the men out there, stop listening to all the noise and stop going or getting with women like that. You can spot them. I can spot them a mile away. It's like the Matrix. I can smell it. You can put me in a room with 50 people. In under 5 minutes, I can tell you, for the most part, who is like that and who's not. And then you get all these things. Oh, this guy's so good looking. Why is he with like a 6 or a 7? Because of what you just said. Because that 7's awesome. She's a great person. And she has his back. No questions asked. Period. There's a million hot girls. Nobody cares.
Exactly.
There's a million of you. And it's not hard. It's not hard.
You get asked this question. What's your type? Do you have a type? Yeah. First off, just be nice.
My type is one word, and everyone knows this. Cool.
Just be cool. Just be cool.
Just be cool.
That's it.
But it's hard for people that aren't about that. And you have all these girls that get all done. You're a dime a dozen. It's so not hard. So guys, stop attracting that. If you want to start a family, you better get a real good woman. I understand you got to be physically attracted to them. But I guarantee you the 7 will look a lot better with all those other qualities. Because she'll never go backwards. The other ones usually go backwards.
Right. And, the biggest
There's
reason
no substance. It's a shell.
Exactly. And we know why that, because the biggest reason that relationships fail are values. It's a common denominator. Either your values grow, your values change. Maybe you bring certain elements into it initially, but if your values grow apart, you grow apart. Yeah,
absolutely. But don't push aside when you see a value not align. You better take note. We've all been guilty of that, of just staying in there too long or whatever. Don't do it.
I always learned the hard way.
Clearly, I did too.
But again, we're not here to profess like we're better than people or this.
No. This is trying to help not make the mistakes we did or I did. And
right.
I know, because I speak to people, that they are embarrassed or they're worried, just the worry that your partner is not proud of what you do on title or on paper. That'll eat away at you. That'll deteriorate everything. Forget it. It will deteriorate your relationship, but it's going to deteriorate yourself, which I think is more important, because that relationship's not going to make it anyway. That's secondary. You got to worry about keeping your foundation. Someone's either going to be adding to it or taking away. There's nothing in the middle. It's one or the other. Yeah. And if you're even thinking that they're they might not be proud of. Oh, he's only a trainer. Oh, he only he helps people in the piece them out, please. Get rid of them and get with somebody that's cool. They are out there.
100%.
Yeah. But society and propaganda and social media is all the enemy right now. Everything's the enemy. You walk out your door, it's enemy. Enemy, enemy, enemy.
Hey man, since I got baptized a couple years ago, it has been like it's twice as much. I know it sounds crazy what I'm telling you, but it's like you said it best. Anxiety is an enemy, fear is an enemy, depression is an enemy. They're not tangible. It's not like you're gonna have enemy come and physically attack you. They're spiritual. They're all voices in your head. Create a distraction to create disruption and chaos in your life from stopping you from living the life you want. For me, we talked about here's something. I always thought if I told people I was a wrestler, it would make me cool in people's eyes. Oh wow, he's a wrestler, he's awesome. Right. So then again, for most of my life, the lines have been blurred. Like the real me, people know the real me, but there's always an act or a facade. And now as you get older, and now as I'm still involved in wrestling, but now doing different things, it's like, okay, this here, no gimmicks. It's just me. And some people will never feel comfortable in their own skin. Never. They'll always be chasing that validity, that validation of,
and you can
look
see
at me.
them. You can see them when they talk. There's dudes with podcasts, and I'm not hating, but keep it real, man. I know you're full of shit. They quote the Bible and they do all this stuff, and I'm recovering. I'm not hating on recovering, so don't get me wrong. But turn the page, man. Do you have anything else to say besides that? It's like a hook line for people. Move on. Move on. My opinion.
No, and I agree with you. And again,
Gets old. Talk about something else.
Everything is so.
Or go have a drink. Go drink again. You'll be more interesting anyway.
There you go.
Come on, man. Sorry.
There you go. No. Again, softballs, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your bat?
I threw it in the stands.
That boy.
Allegedly. But I wrote something down when you were saying before. Nowadays, anxiety is a real thing. Totally think it's real. Kids have it. Adults have it. Yes. I'm not discrediting it. But I also thought it is now taught more. Meaning, I think these life coaches, these psychologists, psychiatrists, these mediums, all the not good ones we talk about, implant that thought to make people think they are more anxious or they have anxiety than they might actually do.
Of course.
And it becomes a cash cow type of business. From a business standpoint, great. Get it. Good job. But from a quality of life and trying to really help people, you're hurting them. They might not be an anxious person, but now you have them thinking about it, and they're going to become anxious thinking just about that, when they might not have been if you just were straight with them. And I think a lot of the problems, or I don't know what they're called, the anxieties and all the isms now are brought upon and created and implanted in people. Sounds crazy, but I really think it's just, you see it everywhere now. No one heard of toxic masculinity before a couple of years ago. And remember when it started sprinkling on social media, Instagram, sprinkle, and then gangbusters everywhere, on the news, on the radio, on this, on that, same type of thing. All of a sudden now, everyone's toxic masculinity. But 2 months ago, it didn't even exist. That's made. I think that's made.
I think a lot of things are made, because what happens, Greg, after you get diagnosed with anxiety and depression? Oh, you should go on this medication for a little while.
There it is.
And
I'm okay with medications before everyone jumps down our throat. I've said this a million times. We both have said it in the past. When needed, yes, go for it. But wouldn't you want to try everything under the sun possible before having to do the last resort? I would. It's not worth the side effects or potential side effects or whatever. Try it first. You might not need it. If you do need it, then you have it. There you go.
Or if you do medicine with, let's just say, you're seeing a psychologist or you're
Mhm.
working with someone because the medicine is only temporary to get you to a certain place.
Yes.
Or it's like
Yes.
cholesterol medication. Oh, your cholesterol side, take a stat. Okay, great. Well, why don't we exercise and diet and get active? And then slowly we can see these numbers kind of dissipate where, all right, let's take you off the stat in 2 months. So this way we get this normalized.
Mhm.
Now, as we know, it takes about 30 days, maybe a little longer for a habit to stick. Sometimes it's 2 weeks. It can take up to 45 days. But the general consensus, and for those that are interested, great book, Atomic Habits, great book. Read that years ago. But it could take a while. And then habits are like interest, it compounds over time. You start with one and then you build upon that.
I
Not
know a
like,
I agree. It's spot on. I know a handful of people that don't take meds anymore. They used to. And then they worked on themselves, worked like you they did exactly what you said. They invested the time that they needed to take in themselves. Now they don't take anything. It can happen. It's everyone's like that's impossible. No, it isn't. I know people. Why is it impossible? You don't have to be on something forever. Why? Because your doctor said so? I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with it either. And I think one of the things that I think, obviously this current administration is disrupting the pharmaceutical industry in certain ways, as far as like making our medicines here in America instead of getting them from other countries. Uh,
Regardless of politics, that should be a thing anyway.
I agreed,
Why
but
aren't we
it's
making our own things here?
it's alarming,
Well,
very
I look at it
alarming.
from like a military strategic standpoint. What a great play if I'm an enemy. Let me just make sure that country gets all their shit from me because I can just turn the switch off. And then you have a country that's a mess mentally and whatever else, medically and sickness and all that. And I didn't even have to send a troop, fire a bullet, do anything, do a dirty, I didn't do anything. I just turned off the spigot of medications. You're telling me in 2025 we can't make our own medications here? Come on, man.
Look at COVID. COVID was a perfect cover up.
That's a whole other thing, man.
I mean, there you go, right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you. I think a lot of this stuff is taught. It's
Yeah.
curated. It's man made, but also realizing that these are not tangible. It's not like I'm having a fist come at me, or someone's trying to
Yeah.
take my leg,
Yeah.
or someone's going to pull out a gun. It's not like oh, I got shot with depression. No, it's a spiritual. It's a seed, and that's why. And I think I talked about this with another friend of mine about your eyeballs, and the optics, and what you
You said that
expose
last
yourself
time.
to.
Yep. You said that
Right?
last time. Mm-hmm.
It's the optics. Your brain, your eyes are the gatekeeper to your brain. What you expose yourself to, whether it's sports, news, even the bad stuff, like pornography and other variables, or the people you hang out with, it's going to kind of curate and formulate that lens at which you look at things through. So if you're around a bunch of people telling you, "Oh, you're depressed, you're stressed, you're this, or you're not good enough," whatever, guess what? You're going to believe and absorb the same thing. So
1,000% agree with that.
you
You
know,
are who you surround yourself with. My mom used to say it all the time.
And my pastor says, "Show me 5-year friends, I'll show you the future."
Yeah. It's true though. You hang around 5 people and they're all saying, "Hey, you're depressed, man. You're depressed. You're depressed." Yeah, that's taught in my opinion. That they planted that seed and watered it and now it's yours. And you might not have been. So I don't know. It's a kind of off topic. We got our way here through signs and stuff, but just surround yourself with good people and you got to free your mind of all the noise and garbage and social media to an extent. Social media is great for marketing your business. Great. Instagram, great. YouTube, great. But it is lethally bad in the other direction.
Oh, 100%.
Lethal. And especially for the youth. It's horrible. It's horrible. I feel bad
Yes.
for the young kids.
Oh,
Junior high school, it's horrible. Nothing is real, people. It's all mostly fake.
look at the challenges your daughters are going to face.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be tough for them. Well, not
Yeah.
tough because they got you, but as far as being able to
But
sift out and make those
I
on your
can't
own.
be there all the time. I can't, it's hard.
No,
you know?
And they're
You
going to
can
make
only,
mistakes.
of course.
And you got to let them. And you got to let them. That's the only way they're going to learn.
Yeah. But it's scary. And
Yeah.
I think for the guys listening, ask yourself, are you consumed at all? Even if it's a fleeting, are they not going to be proud I'm doing this, or my title at work, or whatever? Or I want to make a product. Oh, he makes t-shirts. I know millionaires that make t-shirts. Millionaires. What do? They make t-shirts. Screen print things on them. So were they embarrassed? Oh, he makes t-shirts. Like, okay. Just ask yourself, is your partner, the person you're dating, or even yourself, are you doubting your confidence in what you do just by a title? Oh, I just want the title of VP or SVP or what. What does that do? What does that do? If you're trying to climb the corporate ladder, I get that. That's not what I'm talking about. If you're strategically trying to get to a place within a company, I get that. I am not talking about that. I'm talking about out in the real world, when you're talking to people, when you're with your partner, when you're out and about and you're like, oh, what do you do? Oh, they do this.
Let that be a sign. Guys, pick up that sign. If the first inclination that your partner or someone that you like kind of doesn't have the same enthusiasm or same type of like, not excitement, but same type of energy. Like if you tell me, Greg, I'm like, I make t-shirts. Oh, it's awesome, Greg. Like, what do you make? Like, that's so cool. I never thought of what goes into making a t-shirt. If they don't kind of match that mirror and match, I know it's a coaching technique that we do to mirror match someone's feelings and emotions. If you don't get that type of reflection back, like if a girl told me, "Oh, I do, I'm in human resources," I was like, "Oh, that's awesome," because HR is fascinating.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to deal with. So you need that same type of energy. If you don't get that same type of energy back, let that be a sign to you, like, you know what? If she's kind of like hesitant or she doesn't match that same type of energy from the onset, 6 months from now, it's just going to fester. He's a great guy, but he only does t-shirts. Am I going to be happy long term?
Here's the line. He's not living up to his potential.
That's a good one.
Didn't know you knew that. Didn't know you knew what my potential was.
That's a good one.
And I have a few friends. If I'm like, you know what, I'm going to get back into making t-shirts. Oh my God, that's great. That's awesome. As opposed to why. If your person says why, it's a wrap. There's a different way to go about that. Like, oh, that's a great idea. What made you want to get back into that? Or what made you want to do, like, that's a natural. I'm a question asker. I would ask questions, but I'm still supportive.
I'll be like, what are your goals? Like, what's the goal of this? Do you want
Do
to
you want to
build your
scale
own?
this? Or are you just doing this as a side hustle? Do you just want to make
Right.
1,000 extra a month? Whatever.
Right.
But that's curious business questions, and that's great. That's to help them strategize, not why. Is that not cool for you? Like, is that not good for your bosses or your people? I don't understand. Or your family or whatever. So if you're in that space with your partner, guy or girl, you've got some hard thinking to do. And it's never too late to leave. It's never too late. I don't care if you're walking down the altar. My mom always said this. It is never too late. Just have a party. Don't get married. It's never too late. And I know a ton of people that wish they didn't. But we're like, oh, I was literally walking down the aisle, or oh, there was too many moving parts. We already had a deposit. At the end, at the grand scheme of the life timeline, a deposit, who cares? Who cares? Yes, it's a lot of money. You'll make it back. Who cares?
Well, I think people too feel like, I think a lot of people too now, you said, don't get married, kind of have a party. Well, my wife's been a party for 47 years.
Smartest one in the group.
So,
Smartest one in the group.
But how many people have we heard that went through with it because they thought it would make it better?
Of course. Or have kids because they thought it would be better. Oh, I'm going to have another kid. It'll fix the marriage. Oh, okay. How's that working out for you? I know a lot of people. Many. You and I know mutual people that we're going to have another kid. And we're like, what? I thought you were going to get a divorce. Now you're doubling down and having another kid? Oh, okay.
where they live double lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So,
It's hard
so
not to be
this,
jaded though, because we've
well,
seen the
yeah.
double lives.
And I think again, as you mentioned jaded, and I'll add my final 2 cents. I think being jaded is another way of looking at acknowledging signs. You
Mhm.
can be jaded to an extent, but it's also like, well, I've been smart to this. It's like
You talk
if
me off the
you,
jaded cliff all the time, like once a week.
yeah, there's no need for it. I mean, look,
Ah,
everyone,
it's hard for
everyone,
me. It's hard for
everyone
me.
fits a role in their life, right?
Hmm.
Like you look at just the growth that I try to make in my dating. I know what I want. I know what I sometimes attract, and you know what? Some people come into your life, and it'll only go so far.
Hmm.
And if you have that hindsight, like, okay, I would never date this person, but I could have fun with that person. Okay, so
Hmm.
fun's in the eye of the beholder, whether it's casual, whether it's whatever.
Hmm.
But you'll know when you meet someone, maybe the signs will be there, and this may sound a little bit, it's not meant to sound, chauvinistic, but it's like some people have casual relationships
Hmm.
where, hey, this girl's a lot of fun. She's great, whatever. And then there's a girl you meet like, wow, like I could really, this could be like, she's got the qualities. So the quagmire becomes, do I want something long term or short term? Or hey, let me just do this now because I'm lonely and it's nice to have someone to do stuff with, but I know it's not going to last forever. But then you find yourself saying, all right, well, I've been doing this for like 9 months. Like, okay, it's just kind of where's the cutoff? So looking at the signs that are good and bad, but kind of figuring out where that all fits in your overall, like where you want to take it.
Yeah, and I agree, and I also think you might be having fun with somebody, which is fine to do if you're in that space. But could you potentially, while you're hanging out with that person, can that deter somebody really good coming in? You might be out, somebody wants to come up to you, or somebody wants to talk to you or introduce you, a friend of theirs, but they know you're messing around with this person or having fun with that person, whatever you want to call it, and it might stifle that. But then again, you go, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. So you got to believe in that, I guess.
Yeah.
It's
And
tough.
if they're going to judge you based upon that, then that's not really fair because like that has no bearing on where it could go with you. Like if I'm out with a girl and a girl approached me that liked me or whatever it might be, but she's like, oh, you're hanging out with this person, but like that's not fair because what if the roles reversed?
Which they usually are.
I'd be like, I don't know. The biggest thing that I just like at our age, just don't lie to me. Like if you're hooking up with
just
like a
had
couple,
just had this conversation last night with a friend.
don't
Same
lie
thing.
to me.
Yo, there's no reason to. I'm cool. I don't care. We don't care. Guys like us don't care.
I don't.
Just be real. It's fine. Trust me, it's fine. But I
Like,
think they don't know or they haven't been around people like us. We are very experienced. Take it however you want, people. We've seen pretty much everything. Our whole group of friends has seen everything. It doesn't help to lie because we're going to know anyway. We're going to find that and we see the sign. We see right through the lie anyway.
right.
If you were honest, I can pretty much guarantee we're not going to care. We don't care. It's fine. I respect that more.
Like, especially when you're dating casually. Like, I don't care what you do
Mm-hmm.
outside of,
Yeah.
but just let me know so this
Yeah.
way I can protect myself. I can figure out if I want to continue,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately it's sad to think that way, but most people will juggle 2 or 3 people. And I
Mm-hmm.
know from experience. So like if I
Which
know
is fine if you're open and honest about it. It's all good.
like if I already know that you're already doing something and I give you opportunities to tell me the truth and you keep lying to me, guess what? The respect factor is going to get real low for you. And I may or may not now. People can say, "Well, you're a Christian, this, and that," but I'm also human. So I do fall down. I do.
You,
I do have needs like everybody else.
I
I'm
don't
just
think that's
saying.
wrong. If you're
I
honest, there's nothing wrong. You're not
right.
married. You're
No,
not cheating. It's all good.
agreed. Agreed. But if you're dishonest in little things, you're gonna be dishonest in larger ways. So it's
Oh,
like you've already shot
totally.
yourself in the foot.
Totally.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
like Oh, well, how come you don't want to take it to the next level? Because
Next level. You
you've
can't even be honest
already
on this level.
you've already you've already planted the flag on
Mhm.
the planet.
Yeah, you're a
This is
liar.
who you are. This is who you are, and that's okay because I
Mhm.
accept you for who you are, and this is
Yep.
only going to go so far. But this will end. This has an expiration date.
Yep.
This is not going to be around forever.
Yep.
And I've always said this about myself, and I don't know how you are. I'll go to a certain point, but when I'm done,
Oh.
I'm done.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And we don't take kindly to being shady. That's a pet peeve of mine.
Honest.
But being shady is cool nowadays. If you look at social media, all these, oh, go to my site, or oh, go take a look, and it's like they're OnlyFans or whatever. They're just shady. They're just doing shady things. Just be real.
Just
Just
be
be real.
real.
That's
And
all.
I've said this before. You said this before. Like I know what I'm looking for in somebody, and
Mhm. I know exactly what I want.
I know
Period.
exactly what I'm looking for.
Mhm.
And it's
In
funny,
every
like
category.
every category. So
Mhm.
when you, and this has been kind of like the reverse psychology. The more you take the time to get to know somebody, it's like, well, why you want to talk to me for? I don't know. Maybe I just want to like. You could be the hottest girl in the room, but you could also be the ugliest girl in the room. I want to get to know
And
you.
most are in that case.
That's what's crazy. Back when we were younger, when we were just going out and having fun, it was a
Mhm.
different mindset. Now that you're older, you've matured, you've evolved, and you want to
Mhm.
create an emotional connection first before the physical connection. They're like, "Is something wrong with you?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Wow."
Yeah. Yep.
So that's my rant and rave. Greggy T, take us home, man. Final thoughts. Great topic as usual.
Yeah, just thanks for listening. And I just, for the guys and the girls, get out of your own headspace and free your mind. It is and see the signs and believe in them. If something bad's going on, it's probably for a reason. Not blaming you for a reason, meaning maybe there's something else the universe has. I know it sounds wishy-washy and all that, and Mike knows I was never that type of person, but I do think that now, and I feel so much better for going through the shitty year I had on multiple fronts. I feel so much better, and in a weird way, I'm glad I went through it. I'm a better person for it, and I have a clearer vision. Like when Mike just said, and I know exactly what I want in a partner, in life. I know crystal clear what I want. Period.
Me too.
I wouldn't have known that if I didn't have to go through all the different things I went through this year. But it takes time, and you gotta give in. But truly give in, because one day you'll be like, oh, okay, it happened for a reason. I'm okay with that. And then you can go to sleep the next day. It's on your mind, and you're back in that space. And then the time frame that you have those thoughts lessens to where eventually it just goes away, and you're okay. It does happen, and it'll hit you like a ton of bricks. You're like, I feel good. I feel good about it. Like I really wanted to get this job financially, stability, the whole nine.
Of
I
course.
didn't get it, and I was miserable. I was pissed. I was upset, blah, blah, blah. One of the best things that happened to me this year, because I wouldn't have been able to be there for my girls the way they needed. That's just one thing,
Mhm.
and it's a huge thing. So, one of the best things that's happened to me.
Well, the world wants you to have stability, and the world wants you to have this, and the world wants you to have that. But as you're evolving, and I'll just say this, we talked offline about people that, oh, how do you just give your life to God? How do you give your life to the Lord?
How do you
Guys
bend the
that do
knee
it.
to them?
How do you bend the knee to Him? Well, it's funny. And now I've been doing this for like 4 years. So like actually, I'm trying. I'm just not there yet, which is really weird. And the
I'm not
funny thing
either.
is, it's like, but the funny thing we don't realize is that God's waiting. Like He's not going anywhere. Like you
But
know
isn't
what?
what
Like
I just said a form of technically bending the knee? Then, if you're believing in all these
of course,
signs, I mean, that's
of
that, I
course,
guess.
of course it is. Of course it is.
But I have
But
a
you put
hard time with that.
Because again, there has to be that you, like you said, you have to like give into it. Like I have to like the Bible talks about submitting, right? So
Yeah.
it's not submission like in a tap out hole, but just submitting yourself to the Lord, submitting into your feelings, submitting into this. Like you said, you let yourself go and you feel 80 pounds later. And
Yeah.
you see people on social media. I know people personally that have done that and given their lives to the Lord fully, and a weight's been lifted off their shoulder. I'm trying my best. I'm not there yet, but I'm better than I was last week, yesterday, the day before. But
Hmm.
I know I'll get to that place hopefully. And the cool thing is that God is patient. You don't realize that yet. I do, because I've been able to really experience it and go through it. Everything we've done of our lives, good, bad, or indifferent, when you believe in Jesus and God, it gets washed away. And you're like, well, how does that happen? It's like, even how do murderers get forgiven if they become accepted? Well, we just saw Sammy the Bull Gravano, and if you saw that, he got baptized in jail. Now, in the world, it wipes away. Does it wipe away all the things he's done? Probably not. But like, if you look at it from a spiritual level, it's like, okay, you know, he's been forgiven, and it's nuts. Forgiveness is something, and we talked about this way, way, way early on. You'll never understand. Like, how could I understand a mother grieving for the loss of their child, forgiving their murderer? It's when you talk about God and Christianity, and the difference between Christianity and being Catholic is a relationship versus religion, and we can talk more about that. But you'll never, like, I'll never understand how much God loves me, because I ravel. I'm like, how do you still love me after I just did something stupid, right? Right? Like, I don't understand. Like, we'll never understand that type of radical forgiveness or that type of behavior, or how Tim Tebow can do the things he do. We even talked about it. Like, some of it's too much, but it's not too much when you fully submit. Because I see people, I would love to do mission trips. I would love to just go, because look at us and how fortunate we are to have this platform and the things that we've seen and done. Yeah, the world wants to have this, that, but we have something that not a lot of people have or have experienced. So that becomes the mystery of life. And I'm done.
Hmm. Yeah. Good way to end it. Good way to end it.
Shout out to GyroStim neurological therapy over at the Conde Center here in Delray. That thing is awesome. It's like a rotating chair that spins you around, gets really, really dizzy.
Looks like the
But
fighter jet simulator.
it's like Top Gun. And I've got
Yeah.
I thought it was like a video game, but it's got the buttons on the side, which is actually really
Mhm.
cool. And I want to give a shout out before we head to Canada Dry. The only thing I'll shout out from Canada.
Mexico North.
Diet ginger ale.
There you go.
I'm done. Ricky T, awesome episode,
man.
sir.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Be safe and appreciate all the comments. If you're liking what we're talking about, just hit the like, subscribe button. It helps us out a lot, helps the algorithm. Trying to grow here organically and real, not with any of the fake shit that is mostly out there. So thanks again, everybody.